I had a great Labor Day weekend camping and paddleboarding up in the mountains, and when I came back yesterday it was still inflated. I decided to clean it up by rinsing it out with some fresh water and placing the board out in the sun to dry. Well, apparently after a couple hours, and it was about 95 degrees outside, I came back to deflate the board and found that it was already partially deflated. My paddleboard seemed to have died on me and sprung a leak somewhere. So I filled it up with some air to find out where the leak is located. And I pretty much found it. And it looks like it's coming from one of the seams. If you look closely, I can actually place my finger, where is it now? Right here, there we go. There's a little opening there where the air is leaking out. I already messed with it, so the hole's actually a little bit bigger than it was originally. But I figured I'll do a little video on how to fix a seam on a leaking stand-up inflatable paddleboard. So this is what I'll be using to do the repair on my stand-up paddleboard seam. I have some MEK, methyl ethyl ketone, solvent to use to clean in between the seams and to remove all the old cement. And I'll use some cotton swabs to apply the MEK, and make sure you use gloves because the MEK can be pretty nasty. And what I have here is some painter's tape, and I need to use it to keep the seam open so I can apply the HH66 vinyl cement. And I'll be using a bamboo skewer to apply the cement on both sides while keeping the two seams separated. And then I will use a couple clamps and some blocks of wood to secure the seam while it's drying. So I propped up the paddleboard on a wooden block and supported it with this other block to make the repair easier and to make it easier to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so make sure you put on your gloves first before handling the MEK. And all I'm doing is just opening up the can, and I'll just dip the cotton swab into the MEK. Make sure it's well ventilated. I opened up the garage door, so then there's a lot of air flowing through the garage. And basically just use the cotton swab to clean both sides of the seam. Now let's let it dry for a few minutes, and then we'll apply the vinyl cement. Okay, now that the solvent has dried off, I am going to apply the cement, and this HH66 vinyl cement is basically the same as contact cement. You apply it on both surfaces and you let the cement dry for a few minutes, then you basically squeeze those two seams together to lock it in place permanently. And what I'll use first is some cotton swabs to apply the cement to the majority of the areas, and then I'll use the barbecue skewer to apply it in the corners or the hard to reach places. All right, let's let it dry for a couple minutes and then we'll just squeeze it together. Alrighty, it's been about 5 minutes and now we are going to bond those two seams together, and it should be fairly straightforward. And let me go ahead and show you. And we'll let that sit for a couple minutes. And I'll go ahead and get the air pump ready and we'll fill this up with air and give it a test. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the clamps and the blocks and get ready to fill this puppy with air. Alrighty, it took a few minutes to blow up, and let's see if it holds some air. No worky worky. I'll give it a try again.